Good day, folks. Everything new under the sun. Monday, February 28th. A few key updates as it relates to the Ukraine situation. This is jpost.com. There's actually Israeli-made weapons heading into the Ukraine, and you're gonna find out why this is very important and completely relates to the past couple of videos I've been doing. Shortly, Russia-Ukraine war. Israeli-made weapons are heading to Ukraine. Netherlands and Germany will send anti-tank weapon systems manufactured by subsidiary of Israeli state-owned Rafael Industries. So interesting. Another connection directly to Israel. Backlash likely coming there. This was at debka.com. This is a picture of apparently a 5-kilometer long column advancing on Kiev. Zelensky doesn't expect much from talks. Now, the results of the talks is that they came out of it. There was no specific agreement. They had their sides. Zelensky wanted Russia to evacuate, get their troops out of there before they would hold further talks. And, of course, Russia has no interest in that. In fact, Russia has Belarus on its side now. So it is rightly called an international war and even World War III, because now many nations are going against Russia here with sanctions, but also the sending of weapons and funding the military situation. Zelensky said he had little hope of peace talks beginning on the border with Belarus will resolve the conflict with Russia, that is, obviously. It goes on and kind of states a number of different details about the situation. The Russians paused their first attempt to take Kiev after invading Ukraine last Thursday to await fresh supplies. So that's kind of the reason for this convoy, right? And it wasn't long after that stall happened and seemingly Kiev was able to hold off the Russians that there were talks about peace. Now, this Monday peace talk situation that was planned, I think it was in large part because I think Russia needs to pause and get their supply chains fixed up. The supply chains have been disabled and shot upon, fired upon, and in disarray on their way to the front lines around the various cities, Kiev being the main city. And they needed some time because they were having all their troops and their tanks blown up by various imported weapons, and they need gasoline. Their diesel, rather. Their trucks or tanks are running out of diesel. Even the ones coming from the port city there, around Crimea, and what is it? Odessa, I think it is. Maybe that's not near Crimea, but I think that the peace talk thing was a good stall for Russia because they're running out of supplies for their own soldiers and food. Western intelligence analysts don't rate the chances of the far inferior Ukraine army sustaining its resistance for long. So as soon as Russia gets reinforcements and fuel and food in there, Ukraine isn't going to stand very long. After entering Ukraine's second city, Kharkiv, on Sunday, Russian troops pulled back during the day there to await heavy weapons reinforcements. So again, they're running out of supplies, and that's what's slowing them down. In the southeast, the Russian army Sunday night mounted an offensive on Zaporozhye and Dnieper, while continuing its assault on Mariupol on the Azov Sea. They haven't really conquered any large city to any degree of success. There's still battles going on, and this is a shame, and this is a moment for Putin where he's pretty much embarrassed at this point that he wasn't able to overrun Ukraine. He thought the buildup, the shock and awe, would cause Ukraine to fall immediately. And again, the longer this drags on, every minute, every hour, means other nations are able to get weapons and money and logistics into Ukraine. And as the public opinion sways and shifts over to more and more overt military assistance, Ukrainian forces repelled the Russian attack on the southern city of Kherson. Military analysts evaluate the Russian general's objective as being to link the Russian forces occupying Zaporozhye and Mariupol for blockading Ukrainian army positions in the north and the west. Large Russian reserve contingents are on standby in neighboring Belarus and estimated ready to push into Ukraine from the north and the east. So Belarus is on board, and this is, they're not backing down at all. In fact, numbers are increasing, and they're actually trying to get their convoys through to resupply so that they can continue the push and really take out the head of Ukraine and Zelensky specifically. All right. Well, the new news is that there is a new red line. Putin now considers it an act of war, basically to go against him personally as a head of state, against his banks. And now the new red line is that all these countries that have been supplying weapons, he is now coming out and saying, you know what, if you're supplying weapons, you're fair game for our military as well. And this is what I said in the last couple of videos, that it would not be long. In fact, I fully expected it, and it should be expected by nations, that if they're supplying weapons or money or any sort of support, why wouldn't they be fair game in a time of war to battle against? This means U.S., Germany, other nations are now basically declaring war with Russia. Now this is going to escalate fast. There's another schedule for peace talks in a couple of days. Again, I think it's a stall tactic. Russia's just kind of getting its troops in order, getting its people in place. There's still fighting going on. There's no ceasefire. Russia's new red line: Western countries supplying weapons to Ukraine will bear responsibility. Russian Foreign Ministry says those supplying lethal weapons to Ukraine will bear responsibility should these weapons be used during Russia's military operation. And they're already in there with the NLAWs, the weapons that are used to destroy the tanks. They're already in use. They were delivered from other countries. I don't know how they're getting them in there, but that on top of the special forces veterans that are going in there and fighting alongside the Ukrainian army, that is basically international assistance on all fronts. There is no front now that they haven't deployed other than actual active military troops and special forces from these various governments. And maybe there are already some coordination going on there. I don't know. So Putin has previously been on record saying that Western actions such as sanctioning a sitting head of state or targeting central bank would be viewed as an act of war. Guess what? The whole world just did that. Act of war. But now another red line, of course, and it's about the supplying of lethal weapons. Now, interestingly, Switzerland has come out and said, you know what? We're not going to be neutral anymore. We're gonna be against Putin with this. And various nations are now calling to be included in the EU and included in NATO because they see the direct threat and they see no end of it from Russia. Putin is really backed into a corner now. He doesn't have any face to save at this point. I'm sure he is completely embarrassed that his troops have not been able to conquer Ukraine. If they did it within 12, 24, even 48 hours, or even 72 hours, let alone day 5, whatever this is, the world may have seen it, and we may have said, well, you know what, Russia did what they did. Nothing we can do now. Now we just slap them on the wrist and try and deal with the humanitarian effort. But as this drags out, it gets worse and worse in public opinion and more embarrassing for Putin. So that means he's backed into a corner. He is really embarrassed that he hasn't been able to take this quicker, which means the chance for a miscalculation, significantly resorting to nuclear weapons to get this done more quickly and resolutely is increasing. The chance of that is increasing a huge amount. So that's really the situation. This is well, I mean, I've said it before. This is real. This is a big deal. This could escalate very quickly. All it takes is one wrong move. And when you look at pictures of him sitting so far away from his military generals at the tables, I don't know if I have a picture of that. Let me just see if I can find a picture of that particularly. Let me pull this up here. That's not it. Let's see. No, I can't show that either. Oh, let's see. Let me get a picture of Putin at table. Let's see if I can find images on Google here. Yeah, I saw it for a second there. And now I can't find it. All right, let me go back here. All right, I'll show you this. Let's go ahead and pull this one up here. Now, here we are. This is a picture from 27 minutes. Well, article from 27 minutes ago showing Putin here. Look at where he is. So I guess those are his generals at the end of the table. Does any sane person sit that far away from his own citizens, his own generals, his own cabinet, whatever, lawmakers? That is very strange. And you got to wonder, is he doing that because he is, effectively losing his mind? He's worried about getting sick, so much so that he can't even sit within, 30 feet of his own people. There's something strange going on there. And you need to be aware of it, because that means if that's the case, then he may not be in his right mind. And that means the chance of nuclear war is even higher. Here is a picture of him standing across the room. Why would you do that? Maybe he's worried about getting assassinated or something. But it's a strange situation. And again, Dr. John Campbell did a video about his mental stability, and it's certainly got to be in question when you look at pictures like this. He's holding on to. He has the buttons, and maybe those are the buttons on the left-hand side on the table there. Red, yellow, green. I don't know what they are, but to deploy nuclear weapons or hypersonic missiles. And this sort of person who's, hypochondriac, whatever, is sitting so far away from his own people, his own generals that are on his side. Something's not right. So it's something to be thinking about, be prepared for. Make sure your house is in order. Make sure your heart is in order. Make sure you know the Lord Jesus Christ is your personal Lord and Savior. He's coming soon. The Bible foretold these things would come to pass. Now, Bible prophecy, this Russian war currently is not specifically spoken of in the Bible, but I think the repercussions of it are the moving towards a world government, a world leader, and a world in which there is chaos and lack of peace, such that a world leader can step in and say, you know what, I'll bring peace, just bow down to me, take this mark of the beast in your right hand and forehead, and everybody will live in peace and harmony. So anyways, I'll leave it there, guys. Thanks for watching. Keep your eyes open, keep your ears open, and know that the truth is always somewhere in between all the various outlets that you read, and you should be reading many different sides, from Russian news agencies to Iranian to Jerusalem Post, and your CNNs and your Fox Newses. And like I say, the truth is somewhere in between. We'll see you guys in the next video.